Welcome to Take 3, coming to you on WTSR Radio 93.1 FM. I'm Nikki Nailbaum.
And I'm Bill Nobes. Each episode of Take 3 brings you one independent artist, 3 songs performed live, and an in-depth interview about each song. This session was recorded on July 3rd, 2022 from the House of Robot.
This episode's artist is Space. Space, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
Space, by definition, is expansive and free. The artist known as Space represents this in her music style by creating sounds that are uniquely universal. She's bringing back folk, as this is where her journey began with guitar in hand and singing on the streets. Space is a self-taught guitarist and musician who recently started recording her original music in her new home studio. She is also creating beats on GarageBand to add some Space swag. Space is learning and adding bass guitar to her skill set as well. Her sound is influenced by Lauryn Hill, Erykah Badu, and Nina Simone. She likes to put herself in the genre of soul, R&B, and civil rights music. She creates vibe music, something to sit back with and interpret. Currently, Space is working on her sophomore album entitled Darkness. Let's go to the first song.
The title of this song is Tara, and it is about a quote that my great-grandfather used back in the day. I never heard him say it. And he used to say, "The white man stinks so nice and I can smell him right now." So I basically tried to visualize or actualize what he must have seen, heard, or experienced to say such a thing. So here it goes, Tara. I don't know how I'm thinking it's possible. If you open your eyes, you will smell the lie. It's stinking, it's the stench and it reeks, steady killing my peeps. Tell me, where is the lie? Tara, Tara. Between a neck and a knee, look at Chauvin. He's a stinker. Put him on ice and say yeah bye to ride. On ice, they stinking on ice, stinking on ice. Babies stole a whole country, it is blatantly crack. Never ceased to amaze me what my grandpa said. Even when he is dead, the white man stinks on ice. And I tell you how his cowardice so does it's whatever to run. It's not only the white man, don't forget Karen. Not only the white man, you can't forget Karen. And it may not be nice, but they stink on nice. And it may not be right, but they stinking. Yeah, they stinking. 'Cause the white man stinks so nice, and I smell right now.
Space, in our conversation earlier, you mentioned that you were a teacher.
Yes.
How many years did you teach, and where did you teach?
It was close to 15 years on the
15
Lower
years.
East Side.
Wow.
Yes, New York City.
And how long have you been playing music? Were you playing music during that period, or?
I started practicing. I was even practicing during classes, like in between classes, but I'd always put it down during the summer. So it was maybe a year or two ago that I started taking it seriously. It was maybe during COVID where we were teaching remotely and I was able to focus more on practicing.
Now, do you think your teaching experience informed your music? Is that a part of who you are and what you write?
Not exactly. It was a completely different experience. My teaching art and working with the teenage student body was definitely different. I had to give more of myself. And for the music, I guess that could be a relation where I'm giving myself musically and just speaking from the heart.
Mm-hmm. Now, the song we just heard is Tara.
Tara.
Tara. What do those phonemes mean to you?
So my grandmother, my mother's mother, used to say that, and it was her saying for "that's what it is," or so be it. So I used that. Once I learned that, I figured that would be like the chorus for what I was saying. The white man stinks on ice, and I smell him right now. So Tara, so be it. Yeah.
So be it. Mm-hmm. Well, you have Thich Nhat Hanh's it is as it is and couldn't be otherwise.
Right.
Kurt Vonnegut. So it goes.
Right.
It's a repeated phrase.
That's right.
So very much through life.
Tara.
So that song is using stuff that your grandpa and your grandma would say.
Yes.
I want to ask you about them.
Sure.
I would like to know more about them and amplify what they were thinking or saying or anything like that.
Well, my grandmother, I'm actually wearing her bells. She wore these bells every day, and if you ever heard the bells, then you knew that grandma.
Now, can we see them for
were around? Yes.
The non-radio audience?
This is.
Oh.
Nice.
And so they're really loud. And I wear them sometimes on my shoe. I try to hook them on when I perform because it's a really nice percussion addition. And then she's always with me. And yeah. But she was great. She always had these sayings. And so that's kind of like what she was known for. Tara was just one of them. She always called herself a first-class clown. That was like another thing. Yeah, like if she saw a cute baby, she would say, "I'll choke him," and be like, "We don't know what that means," but like that was just like her thing. She was really sweet. She was like the epitome of a grandma. Like they don't make grandmas like that anymore. So that was my grandma, Virginia. And then it was actually my great-grandfather that said the other quote. And so that was my grandmother's father that said that. So I guess he had his sayings also, and she probably got that from him. And so I don't remember him. I'm not sure if he were even alive when I was born. So I'd written another song for my grandmother, and so my mother's like, "Oh, you should use some quotes from, And so she gave me those quotes, and that's how the song came to be. And so, like I said, I never met him, and I could only imagine what he must have thought, heard, or seen to say the white man stinks on ice, and I smell him right now. I'm like, whoa, that's deep, that's heavy, it sounds like a song, and I'm going to write it.
Absolutely. I can't even imagine.
Yeah. Like, that's deep.
That is deep.
That's so beautiful that you, can, pass down the stuff that they said through music, like expressing yourself. And, like, that's so much more than, that's so much. Like, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
One thing as I read your lyrics, you say, "Smell the lie, where is the lie?" And then you also capitalize peace to make it a proper noun. And I was moved by that. But I wonder, you also capitalize lie. So are those connected?
Ooh. Well, some would even argue, I had someone argue that, a lie will keep the peace because you keeping the person dark and they won't know. But then if you enlighten them, then, there's chaos. And so I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Oh, misinformation is one of the strongest tools of government.
Right. But my rebuttal to that was like, you're not giving a person the chance or the choice, and also you're kind of assuming how they would react if you do lie, right? But then, the other side is, I think being honest for me, since I've found that, because I used to lie a lot. I was like a habitual liar, and I don't know why. But now that I've found that other side, it's like, it's way more peaceful, to be honest. And you're only lying to yourself, So it's personal. It's individual.
I can relate to that.
Yeah. I was also struck by, don't forget Karen. It's not only the white man, you can't forget Karen. And I just remembered back, because I grew up during the 70s, and we didn't have Karens, which is not true. It was so normalized, we didn't recognize it.
Mm.
Where now we're starting to see it and record it with our phones.
Right.
And how ugly it is, but it kind of hurts me a little bit to think back that we didn't see it as ugly because it was normalized. Mm-hmm. And I like the way you add that. You're adding to your grandfather's statement by, there's this too.
Right.
I was going to ask you if that was intentional. Clearly it was.
It rhymed, and that's how it came. Or I thought that it was just focusing on the male energy, and I'm like, everyone's calling them Karens apparently for a reason. So I'm like, okay, there's that. And then I really just wanted to paint the picture of what he must have thought. So I'm sure that he had experiences with females as well. And so that's all I was thinking at the time.
Absolutely.
It always happens afterwards when I look at my lyrics and see the connections. I'm like, oh, but when I'm writing it, what I've said is I'm not actually writing these songs. My spirit energy from another realm definitely is. And I'm just like,
So your lyrics do read like poetry. They're very poetic.
Yes.
All right, that was Tara. Let's go to the second song.
the title of this song is Light. And what this song is about is definitely not light. It's about turning past trauma into light, from the darkness into the light. Ashe. I once was told that I was ugly, had me feeling as low as a mirror and dirty. No chill, no chill. Acting funny 'cause hair grows from my body naturally. I'm free, but socially they shaming me. My mood won't switch, your words insignificant. You dim, some of them, but I'm lit, even down in the ditch. Let them talk it, just stay lit, 'cause I am light. I am life. I am light. I am life. I am light. 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 Everybody telling me what I can or cannot be, judging me, judging me, judging me. Where's your crew? Who your boo? What wrong too? You got fat, now you lean. You a vegan, what that mean? Let them dim your light. Never feel what you do when you know it's right. You were given this life 'cause it's strong enough. Living your life. but you got a whole dollar. You hold too much power. Yeah, get out of my head, get out of my head, get out of my head. Get out of my head, get out of my head. It was something that he did that I'll never forget, and I won't get over it. Now I can't even sleep, Freddie killing my dreams. Gotta figure out what it means. Meditated for an hour and took back my power. Woke up, I was stressing, now I see that it's a blessing. This is just a learning lesson, and I'm living my life, ain't thinking about you, ain't thinking about you, no, no. And now I ain't got a nickel or a dime, no, I'm just minding mine, I'm just minding mine. I am light, I am life, I am light, I am light, I'm light.
All right, that was light, and I definitely felt that. To me, it felt like acceptance and transformation.
Yes.
Can you tell me about that a little bit?
Whew. Where do I start? I guess it started with my visual appearance, and I was going through, I guess, an identity crisis, but I looked at everything for purpose. And so I used to wear makeup, eye makeup, mascara, no foundation or anything like that. My skin is really sensitive, so I never did that. And arch my eyebrows and, wear lipstick. And then I started looking at the purpose. And so I decided against that. I decided against shaving, my pits, my legs, visibly, and, socially, you get shamed for those kind of things. So I wanted to write this song so that way I can, encourage myself, right, to say that this is okay. I accept me without the makeup. I accept myself when I have hair everywhere. So, why can't others? And they should. And so, that's the vibe that I was feeling for that.
Now, it looks like you take it even a little further when you say, judging me, where's your crew, who's your boo, what the F is wrong with you?
Yes, so I've been single for, my whole life. What feels like it, or had really horrible relationships. So, people are always asking me, do you have a boyfriend? Do you have boyfriend married? It's like, no, leave me alone. And then it's like, well, what's wrong with you? How come you don't? What's the issue? And it's like, leave me alone. Why can't I just be? It is what it is. And, I became vegan and I lost a lot of weight and I got so much flack for that. Oh, you're so skinny, you need to eat again. And I'm like, I was eating unhealthy, so basically you're trying to ask me to, just eat meat, which I had stopped, a long time ago, and cheese. I'm like, what do you want me to eat exactly? Why are you trying to control me? And then, I don't know, I gained weight, so it was like, oh, you're getting fat. And I'm like, oh, my God. It's just judging me, in every angle. I can't get it right in other people's viewpoints.
People have nothing else to talk about sometimes. They don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Peopling.
Yeah.
Now, you say I woke up feeling something heavy on my mind. I was thinking about you. Can I ask who the you was?
Yeah, so... whew. The first part of the song, it was supposed to be two separate songs, and I ended up putting it together. So the first part was definitely about acceptance. The second part was heavily about my need to forgive someone who'd completely violated me. I was raped by a friend, and I kept dreaming about him. And the dreams were odd because we would always see each other and act like nothing happened and everything was fine. And so that's why I said later on that, Freddie's in my dreams, and that's actually his name. But I wanted to actually reference Freddy Krueger, killing my dreams, and he was at the time. But it wasn't until I called him up and I forgave him that I was able to see my light. And so, yeah, that's what I woke up feeling fine, something heavy on my mind, I was thinking about you because it was like every night I was having that dream until I called him and forgave him.
And does that reflect the line, woke up stressing and now I see that it's a blessing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
It's just the line.
How did you, thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
And if this is too uncomfortable, don't ask, but how did you find it in yourself to forgive that?
Somewhere along the line, I learned that I was going to need to surround him with loving light, peace, and forgiveness. That was the only way that I was going to be able to move forward. And so I did. And it was weird because when I did, I felt like a weight lifted. You know, I wanted to go again. I was like, I want to be mad. I want to be angry. I want to, We're not going to move forward with that kind of energy.
The only way forward is through, as is said.
Yeah, whatever's going to be less destructive to you is really the most important thing, because that was already destructive.
Right.
What happened? Right. That's amazing. And I'm sorry you went through that. But I'm glad that you are finding peace.
Everything happens for a reason. So though in the moment it was sad, but now I know it's also like if I continue to look at it as a sad thing, then it will continue to burden me. But if I look at it as a light, like, okay, it was dark, but look where I wrote this beautiful song that will be so encouraging for others who might have gone through the same thing, to say, look, and also the power of meditation. So I wrote that in there also. So like clearing your mind and not labeling things as such, like terrible, it's wrong, it's mean, right? That's so negative, and that weight just brings you down. It's like, okay, it is what it is. Moving on, right? What are the positive things that I can look at in my life?
Well, let's talk about that. Tell me a little bit about your meditative practice.
Oh, so on and offy. It really depends on, I guess, where I'm like physically at. And since I moved, I'm not in my own space, so meditating is different for me now. But I do, since I'm at the beach, I go to the beach every other day and I find my Zen there. And I think that even during conversations, I can meditate. And that's like why I call myself space a little bit, because that's the space out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm checking out from this negativity right now and trying to clear my mind and not judge the person. They have a message. It's their message. I might not agree with that message, but right now I might need to. So I'm just thinking about it now. Like, I call it spacing now, but it is a form of meditation, like active meditation.
Mindfulness, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And equanimity, yeah, which is a big part of meditation.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm going to feel better next time I space out.
Right. It's not so bad.
This is for me.
Yeah. It's all about me.
Oh, that's beautiful. All right, let's go to the third song.
This song is entitled See You Again. And it's basically about me and the stage name that I've chosen, Space. So I tend to space out. And sometimes that's when I'm in social environments and I'm just not digging the scene. And so I say, I'll see you again, because I'll come back. I will come back and enter the conversation again. Here we go. That's not it. We needed that first. Found my place.
Okay, so the third song, you're talking about spacing out, and you're saying, "I'll see you again. I'll see you again." Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes. So most, if not all, of my songs come from experience. And so I have a friend, and she likes to gossip. And so I was really thinking about her in the moment where it's like, you are draining my energy right now. We're just like constantly talking about other people so negatively. And so that's where like the space out came from. But I'm like, you're still my friend, so I'll see you again. But just like in the moment, I just need to check out from this. And I don't always feel comfortable to tell a person what they should be speaking about. So it's like, out of respect, I'm gonna space out.
That's wonderful, because it's so easy to react to that. I know people like that, and it just seems like they're just like pumping endorphins. It just like makes them feel good.
Yes,
to do that stuff,
yes.
and it is kind of addictive to do, and
I get sucked in. Yeah, I get sucked in, and then when I recognize it, that's when I shut down. And she notices it also. It's like, what's wrong? And I'm just like, you've literally just talked about 10 different people. It's just like, is this what this conversation is going to be about? So that's what I find it hard sometimes. I can't handle it. I just can't.
No, when I read the lyrics and listen to the song, I understand that part of it. But I was also wondering if you're also at any level referring to disassociation. Because although that's not in what you're telling us now, maybe this is just how it relates to me, but I was feeling kind of what it feels like to disassociate in a stressful situation.
Right. That part also. I guess because I might refer to that when I say, I know that this is my gift, I know that I must give, but then I get my feelings because they take and they take. And so, I don't know. I guess I feel like I don't always fit in. And so I was told that if you feel like you don't fit in, it's because you were placed here to create a new earth. And I'm like, okay, I vibe with that.
I love that.
Oh, yeah, so.
Which brings me to the question of when getting my feelings because they take, who is they to you?
Friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly friends and family.
Right.
They take advantage of my kindness, and they know what type of person I am, so I'm not responsive. So I just kind of like internalize and suck it in.
I feel like that does a lot for them to realize their actions if you don't like agree with them right away or whatever. Like if you just like kind of take a moment for you, then, they're just waiting to be affirmed in what they're doing. And I feel like that's, that is changing the world by not affirming that and just taking time for yourself, and like will probably help them self-reflect more on it. So that's cool.
Oh, it comes down to boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
It comes right down to boundaries. How have you, as you grow, and you've been on this journey recently, how you addressed personal boundaries in situations like with friends and family?
Well, I am a Taurus.
As am I.
So, I think it's when I'm pushed, because I'll take it and then, kind of like let it roll off my shoulders. But I think my internal spirit, when it is very necessary for me to speak on something, I do. And it's a little forceful. But you'll hear it. You'll understand at that point. Be very clear.
Which also goes back to the second song, Light, too, about transformation and acceptance.
I also like in that song how you say, now I'm just a nickel and you're a dime, but you got a whole dollar. You hold too much power. And I thought that was really powerful.
I'm glad you brought that up. So that was another saying that I heard. If I'm around you long enough and you have a saying, I might make a song of it. And so I heard two people say, well, what's your nickel and the dime? And I'm like, I've never heard this saying before. And they're like, oh, yeah, that's a saying. And I'm like, well, what does that even mean? Well, what is your part in the situation? How much are you including your positivity, negativity? Like, what's your part? What's your play? So what's your nickel and the dime? What's your 5 out of the 10? And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And so I'm like, what if I said something like, what's the nickel and the dime, but you got a whole dollar? That means like, you got a lot more, and I'm such a small piece of that, but you're holding a lot of power in my mind because, it's like, get out of my mind. And I know everybody's had that where it's like either a song or a person or something is just stuck in your head and you can't get it out. It's like, get out of my head, get out of my head.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome.
And you can do that through meditation.
I gotta start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I gotta start that.
And I always looked at meditation like it had to be this whole deep thing. It doesn't. It could be in a moment even. It's just about clearing your mind and maybe even repeating a mantra or affirmation and focus on your breath.
Being present.
Right.
So you say you're self-taught on the guitar.
Yes.
When did you first pick it up or discover it or have one handed to you?
My mom was self-taught. My grandmother was self-taught. And I just liked the sound of the guitar, always did. And my mom had a guitar sitting in the basement, had some mold sitting on the case or whatever, and I picked it up. And I think maybe the first song I learned was My Girl. It was so, oh my goodness, I was terrible. And so I'd put it down, up and down and up and down. But that happened when I was going to the Fashion Institute of Technology.
Oh.
So that happened in maybe 2005 or 6. So serious pick up, put down, pick up, put down, pick up, put down. It wasn't until I decided on a song that I really liked that I wanted to learn. And it was a Redemption song by Bob Marley.
Aww.
Oh boy, did I play that song a million times. And then it was like, why am I only learning one song? And then it was like, Google became a thing. And then it's like, I'm Googling songs. And then it's like, oh, I know those chords. Oh, I'm going to learn that song based on the chords that I know. Then I ventured out. It was like, okay, that chord doesn't look difficult. Some of those chords I'm like, that's not even humanly possible. How? Like, what? No, we're not going to do that. No. Bar chords? What? No. What? No. We're not doing that. Even F. Like, F was like, I don't know, Ma. And Mommy's like, Grandma put the guitar down, too, because of F. Like, yeah. And I'm like, F, man.
It killed me, too. That's why I'm an engineer and not a musician. The F chord, yeah.
Oh, yes, the F chord's serious, just different. But I don't know, some kind of internal motivation, determination to continue. And I guess I was good. I was kind of like a fast learner. And it was fun. And then started writing my own music. And that's like a phenomenon for me.
So you dropped FIT on the table.
I did.
So we're going to pick that up. How did you go from FIT to teaching?
Good question. So my mom has always instilled in me job security. So in my senior year at FIT, I'm like, what am I about to do? Am I really about to venture off and be a visual artist? And I'm like shaking in my boots. And so then someone who had already graduated, I don't know, they put it in my ear. It's like, yeah, I'm going to the School of Visual Arts for a master's in art education, and you should do it, and you should give back, and this is what you should do. And I'm like, teaching? Ew, my mom was a teacher. I don't want to teach. But I tell my mom everything. So I'm like, Ma, this chick is telling me about teaching. She's like, oh my God, yeah, you should do it. And then next thing you know, I'm in the School of Visual Arts, and that's how I became a teacher. It was like I kind of was coerced, but I think it was meant to be.
Wow. So you come from a long line of teachers and guitar players? And
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, visual arts, are you still doing visual art?
I'm a still creative type, let's just say. When I came back to Asbury, it was like, all right, now I have all the time in the world. I'm going to paint, I'm going to draw, I'm going to do all of that. It was all music. Mm-hmm. I couldn't find that spirit. I found it in making these pieces. And I know why I made these pieces. I was starting to do like video shoots for myself, and I like had this whole space idea. So I'm like, I need accessories, right? So I had found some old film strips, like the negatives with the like holes on both sides or whatever, and then I had embroidery. So I'm like, let me stitch it up and add. And now I'm like making these pieces, and I've sold like about 5 or 6 already. So.
Nice.
So that's
Excellent. And speaking of video, there's a video for each of these tracks.
Yes.
If you're watching the video, they'll be in the show notes. If you're on the radio, visit houseofrobot.com, and there'll be a Take 3 section, and we'll have links to the video to see the videos.
Thank you so much, Space. Where can we find your music online?
So right now you can find most of my music on YouTube. My channel is Newspace 5000, NUSPACE 5000. And you can find some other cutesy videos of mine on Instagram, or keep up to date with things that I'm doing on Facebook. On Instagram, it's the same, Newspace 5000. And on Facebook, it's my real name, Adrienne West.
I'm Nikki Nailbaum on Instagram.
And I'm on Instagram and Facebook as House of Robot, or visit houseofrobot.com.
Thank you for listening to Take 3. Thank you, WTSR Radio and the College of New Jersey.